Hey guys, it is 12:11 a.m. and I should be sleeping right now. I got stuff to do. But I just got off the phone with my sister, and I have three sisters. Yeah, one, two, three, okay. And they all live in different areas. Actually, one of them lives here. Her name is Maria. And I actually just don't get to see her as much as I wish that I could because we're all just so busy and living our own lives and doing our own things and in our different realities, like completely different realities, each of us. But my heart is just so full of love, and I don't know why, I just felt like I really needed to share that. That, like, anytime I hear that someone is in distress or pain or struggling with anxiety, like, especially people who are close to me, I immediately, like, feel called to help them. And my whole energy is just like, okay, I'm going to build you a practice. I'm literally booking a bus next week to go and visit my sister's partner and help him through anxiety attacks that he's been having. And I really feel like I just see myself in everyone. So when someone else is feeling pain, and I'm such an empath, and I really need to work on this because I'm sometimes too much of an empath for my own good. Like, I'm tearing up right now. But I literally feel it so strongly that I need to help ease that pain in someone else. And luckily I've learned so many practices to help with anxiety, and it's really personal for everyone. Everyone has different triggers, and some people, especially who aren't into like spirituality or spiritual connection, can have a harder time navigating anxiety and navigating this like crazy sensation and this adrenaline and noticing that there are triggers and that there are fears or that there are repressed emotions or, I don't know, guilt or just things that are making them feel this way. It can be harder to delve into those emotions if you're not, checking in with yourself every day through some spiritual practice. So I don't know why I started getting into that. But anyways, so I feel like it's even more important for me to work with people who aren't on any kind of spiritual path, just to, first of all, challenge myself a little bit, because I'm always using spiritual dialogue, I feel like, and I want my words and my teachings just to be accessible to anyone and not be intimidating. Another reason why I just really like to have a non-dualistic view on a lot of things, because when you start talking about religion, I just feel like that in a way creates separation, because there's so much argument around like how to be saved, how to end this cycle of life and death, either by going to heaven or reaching enlightenment, reaching Purusha, or whatever the end goal is in whatever religion that you practice. And there's like a lot of debate around that, and people don't want to practice other things outside of their religion. So I just really want everything to be non-sectarian and really accessible, just about connecting to yourself, connecting to your breath, connecting to the truth that is explained by science. And yeah, so I am really happy to give the medicine and the healing to the people who really need it and who, I don't know, are maybe less in touch with themselves than, I don't know, others. I feel a little bit overwhelmed right now, so I'm not thinking completely clearly. But yeah, I just feel, and I've always felt that my soul mission on this earth is to help people heal, and I always want to be my authentic self, and I just really want people to see me also, because I know I like post photos of me like looking good and stuff like that, and I think that triggers people because they think that I'm showing off, or they think that I'm superficial, or they think whatever they're thinking, that could be a projection or could just be, I don't know, yeah, some kind of conditioning that they're conditioned to believe about a woman showing her body or whatever. And sometimes it just confuses me. I don't want me showing my body to make anyone else feel bad. And this was just something that came up this week, because I posted a photo and some people were like, oh, I wish I looked like this, but I've gone through like such a struggle with accepting my body, and I don't know. I know that everyone's like posting photos of their body, and that so many YouTubers, including myself, use their body to get views. Like, I know that when I post a thumbnail and my body's in it, that it's more likely to get clicks. I'm not gonna act naive about that, but so then I had this like conversation in my head, like, is that moral? Like, what am I representing doing that? But at the end of the day, I just realized that I'd rather have people who are living in that one side of duality to click on my thumbnail because of my body, and then hopefully absorb something much deeper, maybe a download about veganism, or a download about spirituality, or how nudity is empowering and doesn't always have to be sexualized, or whatever it may be. It just feels like the bigger message to use this human experience, use people's human conditioning and attraction to like body goals or whatever, to help them feel something deeper. And I guess that's what I've learned in Buddhism and Hinduism, is that like they teach that you can connect with your spirit and reach enlightenment and end this cycle of life and death using these human experiences and living in this dual world, in this dual reality. And so I'm just putting on the different hats and dancing between all the realms that I need to, just to really live out my dharma. And that just feels like the highest truth out of anything. I feel like, yeah, okay, I look like just a floating head or something because you can't see the rest of my body. I have just my Himalayan salt lamp on right now. But yeah, so also don't know where that tangent started. I'm so cloudy because I really didn't get much sleep last night. But anyways, where was that coming from? So, yeah, people are always going to encounter, like, beautiful women and have triggers come up around that, whether it's me or someone else. Like, there's so many pretty people in the world. There's so many Instagram accounts with Photoshop or Facetune or just natural, beautiful women who are just genetically, like, gorgeous, you know, or men, or just people in general, you know? And, so whether it's me or someone else, like, if someone has some kind of trigger around that, or some kind of expectation toward themselves that they don't think that they're fulfilling, it's gonna come up. And hopefully that person will look at that and be like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel the need to compare myself all the time? And I still struggle with this too. And when I do feel like jealousy arising, or like I'm comparing myself, it's not usually jealousy, it's usually like comparing myself. I don't know if that's the same thing, but I'll just be like, wow, but I have such different gifts than this person. Like, who I am is so amazing because I have so much to offer the world, and I understand myself, and I feel so connected to that like when I think about the physical body, it's like so much less relevant. And then I remember, okay, whatever their path they're on, like, they're just me in another life or another form of consciousness, level of consciousness. And yeah, I literally was stalking this like spiritual teacher's Instagram last night, feeling like, wow, she's like so aligned in her path, she's so successful, like she really knows what she's doing. And then I realized, like, okay, this woman is 33 years old. This is Instagram, where things are always like, people are always showing their highlights, and she basically is a businesswoman, so she wouldn't obviously post photos of herself not looking good or not feeling completely great. I don't know. And then I was like, oh yeah, I literally just fell into that like little paradigm of that whole reality. And yeah, I don't know. And then I connected with this reality in this moment, or that moment last night. And it felt really good to check in with myself and catch myself doing that, just like everyone else does. But yeah, I feel so humbled. I feel so in reverence to this human existence, like just bowing down to all the ways that like Source has presented itself in my life. I was just talking to my sister about how I spent so much time resenting my childhood, and so much time like feeling that it wasn't right, the way that I had to grow up so quickly, and I just had so much resentment towards my mother and my father for not better preparing for the fact that they were going to have kids, like not having money and having to leave every night to go to work and leaving me in a place where I felt unsafe and that I was unsafe. And I don't know, it just felt really like I was just forced into the world and forced to grow up so quickly and like learn about pain and suffering and emotions. And I was just telling my sister, like, I really just want my children to feel safe in this world. And then at the same time, that I have felt this incredible struggle, I feel this incredible gratitude that like shines so much brighter than all of that, because of course it led me to where I am now. And anyone I know who has gone through suffering or like pain at a very young age has grown up so fast, and everyone in my life who has experienced that has become so much wiser and stronger and like grounded in this life, because they know they've experienced the full spectrum of human emotion. And I think that creates this need to have to look at yourself, to have to recognize and ask questions about this existence, like to experience something that like really shakes you to the core. It changes you, and yeah, it makes you ask questions. It makes you feel a different level of depth that maybe some people don't experience until they're much older when something tragic happens. And it also just helps you, I don't know, I don't want to say it's like good to suffer, but you definitely can grow from your suffering. And anyways, I just see the duality in that too, that the suffering can lead to so much joy if you have the right perspective, if you choose to see it that way. And I don't know, I just it's so good and it's so bad, and whatever anyone is experiencing, whatever suffering they're experiencing, it's just important not to label it as good or bad, but just to see it as it is, like just a happening in your life. And I'm just really grateful that I was able to let go of all of that resentment and just be okay with what happened and what is going to happen, and be okay with whatever happens with my children, and not in a way that like I'm going to be like a parent who's aloof, but just know that like I'm not going to be perfect, while still I know I'm going to fucking plan for my kids and make sure that as much as you can plan for kids, first of all, like when it happens, sometimes it just happens. I am rambling so much. I don't know how all of this is connecting, but when I start a tangent, I feel like it's potent, and then I'm just like, I don't know how this began. But basically, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful to be me, and I'm grateful to see you and to share this with you. And I see you, and you really do have such an incredible potential for healing. Like anything that you've experienced, and I read an article about this and I tried to find it and I couldn't find it again, but you can completely heal those neural pathways that have been caused as a result of trauma. Like they did a study, I don't even know how they tracked this study, but people who experienced a lot of trauma, like there was science, I wish I knew like how they proved this, but basically they said that there was 0% chance that a person couldn't heal from it. Like there was no trauma that someone could experience that they couldn't heal from, that was impossible to heal from. Like emotional abuse or physical abuse or sexual abuse, like with certain practices there was 100% chance of healing over time, whatever practice. I really need to find it. If I find it, I will link it down below. It's also midnight, so I probably will just upload this and not link anything. But yeah, I'm gonna delete this like tomorrow morning because it's not good content. But I just don't. I just really want to be seen, and I know not everyone is gonna see me, and I'm not gonna be able to please everyone, but just know that all my messages are genuine, and that my sole mission on this earth is to help people heal and to embrace others. Like really feel like I'm hugging you guys sometimes when I'm sharing certain downloads with you, or when I see you in person. Like, when I hug you, I really hug you. And some people aren't huggers. I'm always like, can I give you a hug? Is that okay? And I really just send you so much love in those moments. And even just interfering on this computer, on this screen, I really feel so connected to you guys. And it feels like my soul is singing. Like, my soul song is just getting louder and louder every time that I spread my truth, and that I post a video, or that I meet you guys, or that I get to share my spiritual practices. And it's like I feel the end of my journey. Like, I feel all the love that I'll be able to create with everyone in my lifetime. Like, I feel that it will all be okay, and that it already is okay. But I guess I don't have any fear of things not working out, because that's kind of impossible. Like, whatever happens will just lead me to the next lesson that I'm supposed to learn. I don't feel like afraid of failure. I just feel like I'm ready to listen, and that I have been listening to whatever the universe needs to tell me, whatever I'm supposed to do here on this life. And I know that can seem like a facade on social media, because spirituality is definitely a marketable thing and a brand these days, but it's not that to me at all. And yeah, like, I cry sometimes at night because I just wish that I could help every person who is suffering. And I think about women who have lost their children, or people who are too poor to feed themselves, or people who can't see, or who can't hear, or cannot walk, or can't have children, or who aren't in the body that they identify with, or who don't know who they are in this society, whether that be like gender-wise, or I don't know, career-wise, or whatever other categories that this society really wants to put us in and try and label us as. Like, that's really stressful to have to navigate. And my heart just really feels, I don't know, like people's prayers or something. Like, people are just like asking for healing from these different things, or I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling some kind of frequency that is happening to people all over the world. And when I feel that, I know that I can't just feel bad or feel sadness for these people, but I can only keep healing myself and working on myself, so that I can put that vibration out into the world, and maybe they will receive that, and maybe one day I will actually be able to like find some solution to help all these different kinds of causes that I just mentioned. And right now, this YouTube channel has been a great outlet for it, and my new platform, which I still have yet to announce. I want it to be like a grandiose announcement, but yes, there will be a lot of tools for healing on there, which just involve simple practices that you can do every single day that will transform your life, that will bring those things to the surface that are laying dormant in your body, and will allow you to burn through them and just elevate and connect to your higher chakras and be on like a whole new level of being. So yes, that will be coming up, and that is a huge thing for me. And I know that I wouldn't be able to share that if I didn't do my own healing first, and if I didn't continue doing my healing and practice every single day. But yeah, like I just feel like I have such a big heart, man. And I did this calculation. I think it's rooted in Tantra, that like there's a certain way that you can calculate your birthday that helps you figure out which chakra you're most dominant in, and mine was the fourth chakra, which is my heart chakra, which involves compassion and empathy and love and all that kind of stuff. And that's literally me. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. November 3rd, 1997. Yeah, but anyways, I can keep sharing. Like, I just never mean to offend anyone. I never mean to cause anyone harm or suffering. Some people will see something that I put out there and it will cause them suffering because it's a projection that they have, or some conditioning they have that comes up that may not feel comfortable for them, and people will like DM me angrily or comment something mean, but it's like my intention is so far from that. And if I ever do say something wrong, I am happy to be educated, as long as people aren't attacking me for, I don't know, maybe using not as open gender pronouns or something like that. And I am really new to, like, I don't know, just this whole idea of people not feeling connected to any gender. I'm new to speaking about it. Like, I know that that's a thing that people don't want to be put in a box. I completely get that. And the thing about me is I see everyone as much more than just this human existence. So I don't care what anyone wants to identify as. I will treat them the same. I will treat them with respect. I will really see them and have so much compassion for them because I see them, you know? But then sometimes people get offended when I'm speaking about my own experiences and I don't have more open dialogue. Like, I'm talking about abuse from a man to a woman, because that's what I experienced. I'm a female who identifies as a woman, and I was abused by a male who identifies as a male. And so when I talk about that, I got some DMs like, this is so, like, cis and whatever, and I'm just like, do you want me to use they, them pronouns? Like, I'm talking about my past and my experiences. So I don't know, I think that's just like a projection thing, but I also really do want to be mindful of my language and be really inclusive with my language. And I'm just so happy to learn, as long as you're coming from a place of love and not like hate or anger at me for not knowing any better. That really doesn't help me learn, just saying. But yeah, like I just want to make people feel good. So just know that's my intention, and that, like, I just really want to make people happy, man. Like, oh, my heart is just like, I just really believe in people. So that's my purpose. That's my intention with everything that I put out there. And, you know, sometimes I do get caught up in this paradigm, in this duality. Sometimes I buy things from online stores that I don't really look into. They may not be sustainable or ethical, but I'll buy a sweater or a skirt from them because I think I need to look good. And that happens sometimes. And then I'm like, you know what? I really didn't need to do that. Like, I just kind of fell into this old conditioning. But I observe it, and that's okay. And yeah, like, that was a really random example, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm not perfect, and sometimes I do feel like maybe I need validation, or sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I am unempathetic. Sometimes I'm caught up in my own story that I can't always be there for people. So, I don't know, I'm also just navigating this duality all the time. I'm always perceiving just so many different things. I'm not perfect, but I'm always going to try my best. And I just want you guys, I'm like rambling, I just want you guys to know that. And yes, okay, so have a good night. I'm a very passionate human being with so much love in my heart. End of story. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye. Have an amazing moment, okay? Breathe for me, okay? Breathe for me, Hitomers. Also, how do you guys feel about that name, Hitomis Homies? I just called you Hitomers. I'm not too much of a fan of that. Hitomis Homies. Let me know what you think. I think it's kind of corny, but maybe it's so corny that it's good. Hitomis Homies. Okay, you know what? I'm actually super hyper because I had coffee like 2 hours ago. That makes total sense. I don't know why I did that. Alright. Okay. Anyways, yes. Good night, guys. Hitomis, homies, let's get together and hug some trees. Hitomis, homies, we ain't no hippies. Okay, last thing. This is really random. Sometimes people refer to me as a hippie, and I just gotta say, I don't really identify with that word, because I feel like that was a movement, a moment in time that happened, and I don't feel the need in any way to relive that. And I feel like if I was born in that time, that I wouldn't necessarily fit in completely, because I don't do drugs and I don't drink, I don't smoke weed. All those things literally give me anxiety. Maybe the medicine wouldn't, the plant medicines wouldn't, and probably really help me. But yeah, I don't feel any need to like recreate a hippie movement or to emulate that. I think obviously people connect me with that because I see the oneness all around me, and because hippies were tapped into more truth, I think, and they were trying to fight the man and trying not to be tracked by the government. And anyways, I get why people categorize me or call me a hippie and stuff like that, but I don't know. I guess I just don't really identify with that whole thing. Because I honestly feel like a nerd a lot of the times, and I feel like more of an artist. But what are these labels, and what is the need to identify yourself with anything, any kind of persona? But yeah, anyways, that's just a little side note that like I'm not really trying to emulate a whole hippie thing at all. I'm just trying to speak the truth, and I also really love science and I love research, and yoga is really based in science, which is awesome because that means that people who don't believe in religion or don't believe in spirituality, this word that has been marketed and become a persona, even if they don't believe in that or get triggered by hearing that word, if they hear science, it's much easier to be like, oh, okay, that's mathematics, that is research, okay, I can understand what is going on inside of my body physiologically. And that just makes it so much more accessible for everyone to receive the healing that they need. It's not like you have to take these precepts and buy into this religion and then you can receive the healing medicine. It's like, nah, dude. Whatever you believe in, whatever way that you live this life, if you do this, science says that it will change your energy. It will change the way that you feel. And I think that's awesome. I really, really just want healing to be accessible to everyone on this earth. So yeah, I am now finally exhausted. Thank you guys for listening to me. Let me know your thoughts down below. I really love you. It's emulating from my heart always. Thank you so much for being you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.